In today's video, I'm gonna show you the best things to do here in Washington, D.C. So if you wanna know how to move around, best places to eat, and many more, stay tuned for this video. Okay guys, before moving forward in the things to do in Washington DC, I actually want to show you where we stay, because we stayed there for one day because we knew coming back from Washington DC all the way to Queens, New York, where we reside, it was going to take around another 5 hours, and we know it was going to be nighttime by the time we were going to come back. So just to give you an estimated time of arrival in case that you're leaving from New York. So for the ones that don't know, I live in New York. I live in Brooklyn. Sometimes I come to my girlfriend's house, which is going to be in Queens, and the estimated time of arrival from Queens to Washington DC is around 4 hours and 26 minutes. That's basically what Google Maps says, but I will expect at least 1 more hour in order to get to Washington DC. I will say like around 6 hours in case that you want to be more conservative with the time that you're going to be arriving to Washington DC. Personally, when we got there like around 2, even though we left like around 8, 9. You gotta keep in mind that you're gonna stop to eat something, because driving for 6-7 hours, especially if you're coming from New York, is gonna be very hectic. Once we arrive to Washington DC, I gotta tell you that finding parking is gonna be really hard. So in order to find parking, I'm gonna show you some tips later on in how to do it. But personally speaking, if you want to stay in Washington for one day, because maybe you are doing the same trip that I did, I went from New York all the way to Washington DC, I will definitely recommend you to stay a little bit outside of the main Washington area. And if you don't know what is the main Washington area, I'm talking about these points right here between the Lincoln Memorial all the way to the United States Capitol. So anything around this area is gonna be really expensive if you want to stay in a hotel. Maybe you're gonna be paying like around $150 to $200 just for staying one day. I mean, I don't think it's worth it, just because you're not gonna stay in the hotel besides just being there for whenever you're gonna go to sleep. So definitely, if you want to find a place that you can stay in there, I would definitely recommend you to stay in this area, like around Arlington, like around outside of the Washington area. And preferably when we stay, like we actually booked an Airbnb around this area, like around here next to the Taqueria El Poblano. And personally speaking, it was really close. It might seem like it's gonna be far from whenever you're gonna be driving to Washington back and forward, but I gotta say to you that from here all the way to Washington, to the main area where are gonna be the best things to do there in Washington DC, is actually, I would say, like around 10 minutes in a car, and it's not like that far, like I said. Okay guys, so now let's talk about like the best platforms that you can use in case that you want to book a hotel, like in case that you want to stay somewhere but you don't know what platform to use. I personally always use Airbnb. It's reliable, it's cheap, you get to interact with the host, so most likely they're gonna recommend you some places to go. And also you can go to booking.com, which is a really good platform where you can actually get cheaper prices in case that you want to stay in a hotel. So anything related to these links, I'm gonna provide you down in the description, so you can use that link, and I think they're gonna offer you some type of discount if you decide to use the link that I'm gonna provide to you. So now let's talk about the things to do in Washington DC. When coming to Washington DC, there are gonna be a couple of things that you need to know. Here, you're not gonna be able to find like extreme outdoor activities like bungee jumping, hiking. In fact, this is gonna be a place that you're gonna come to learn the history of North America. So as you can see in the map, this is basically all you need to know about Washington DC if you wanna move around. In the map that I'm showing you right now, it pretty much shows you everything. So this is called the National Mall. In the National Mall, you're gonna find monuments like the Capitol, US Capitol, aviation, and museums. You're gonna find so many activities that you can do in terms of museums, and that's a good thing because pretty much everything is going to be in a walking distance. And I would say if you want to take the most out of the experience, you need to arrive at least early, like around 8. Everything is gonna close around 5:30, so I would say like one day is not gonna be enough to visit all the museums. the first place that we went and visit was the observatory. And why this really catches our attention, because it was free pretty much, and they were able to show us a telescope that we can see the sun from here. And it was really interesting because it was a little dot all the way into space, and they use all these telescopes to actually show us, and the people working in there actually were really nice, showing us all the information. And in this upcoming video I'm gonna show you the way that Saturn looks on the solar system.
Saturn, yeah, this is how Saturn would look if we held it right next to the sun. And then finally, what's the biggest planet in our solar system? Jupiter. And even the biggest planet in our solar system, does it have anything? Does it have like anything on our sun?
And make sure you're gonna come a little bit early, because the operating hours are gonna be between 12 p.m. to 3. So after we finish with the observatory, we decided to move next door, which was the Museum of Aviation and Space. And this was a really cool place. Make sure you're gonna come a little bit early, because I cannot stress this enough. You're gonna see a lot of people like forming in big lines. So since the museum is going to be free, so you need to plan accordingly. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of people inside. And once in the museum, you're going to see a lot of history from the United States of America, from when they started creating the airplanes and all the evolution in all these years. And I thought it was a really amazing. I think it's a lot of history. I would say the amount of time that you're gonna spend around this area, like just being in this museum, because they have 2 floors, I would say it's gonna be between 1 hour to 2 hours, in case that you really wanna learn about the history, because like I said, it's a lot of it. And like in the video that you're gonna see right now, you're gonna see me touching a piece of the moon. Oh, that's what they make it seem like. And it's pretty much, like I said, like you don't have to pay anything. And I will definitely say that if you want to contribute something so they can help preserve this space, definitely just leave some tips. They're gonna have some sections where you can leave some tips. Okay, so let's go.
Oh my, mira, first class. Mira, papi, con typewriters y todo, mira.
First class. So that is how an old school airplane used to look like, first class. And I'm gonna show you this device that really captured my attention. As you can see, all those little dots in the screen are basically represents the airplanes and the amount of airplanes that we get actually in one day. And basically, as you can see, is a bunch of them coming into the city, coming into the state, going out the states, and it's just crazy the amount of airplanes that we get daily in our states. And after a wonderful visit to the Air Space Museum, we decided to go to the National Gallery of Art. And this one's just gonna be pretty much next door. Like literally the museums around here are like in one corner and the other side of the street, and then just by walking a little bit, you're gonna be able to go to the other museum. And some of the things I really like about this museum is that this one, it averages monthly visitors of around 8 million people a year. And just by looking at the infrastructure of this astonishing place, I gotta say that it's definitely worth it of you coming down and visiting here. I gotta say that this place contains around 154 different arts between paintings and sculptures. So it's something that you definitely gotta come and visit. You're gonna be able to see some paintings of the most iconic people here in the United States, like Abraham Lincoln and many more. Also, next to the National Gallery Art, you're gonna be able to find a little park where you can find a little ice skating a place in case that you wanna like do some activities like this. So this one's gonna be pretty much next to the monuments. So guys, one place that you can go is gonna be to the Washington Monument. So the Washington Monument is gonna be all the way behind me, as you can see. When we got to the Washington Monument, they were closed. They told us they were gonna open at the mid of 2019, so like around June, July. So make sure if you're planning specifically going to this monument, to plan accordingly, because maybe it's not open. And I just wanted to share some curious facts When the Washington Monument opened in 1884, it was one of the tallest structures in the world with a 555 feet of height, until the Eiffel Tower in Paris took the title in 1889 with an incredible 988 6 feet of height. I think that was incredible. For the ones that don't know, the Eiffel Tower is basically the picture that I'm putting right now on the screen, so you can take a look at that. And once you start walking around the Washington Monument, you'll find the World War II Memorial. This memorial honors 16 million people who served in the armed forces of the United States during World War II. I just think it's nice, like the infrastructure here is really nice. Not only that, the significance of what this actually means is a tribute to the people who fought in World War II, so I think it's a place that you should definitely check it out. And from there we decided to go to the Lincoln Memorial, and one more time, everything's close by, so you can just go walking and you're gonna be able to find the Lincoln Memorial. And for the ones that don't know, it is a structure, and actually the piece, which is the Abraham Lincoln statue, it took around 50 years to be built. For the ones that don't know, he was the 16th president of the United States of America. So right now we have the Lincoln Memorial behind me, as you can see, right there. There you go. Let's move on.
Okay.
After the Lincoln Memorial, we decided to head to the White House, as you can see right here. And before that, we actually decided to just make a stop into the National Christmas Tree. For the ones that don't know what is basically that, is basically a lot of people gather, or a lot of people actually create different trees from different states, and they just put it in this section for demonstration purposes. And I really like it. I think this is only available on the winter time. Not really sure about it, but definitely it's quite an experience. Like I said before, you're gonna be expecting to walk at least 30 minutes in case that you just want to go from the Lincoln to the White House, and definitely do it. You're gonna burn a lot of calories going there. And from this side, you're gonna be able to find and see the back view of the White House. And in order to see the front view, you need to go all the way around, and you're gonna find some street performances. And also, if you want to get to the White House, you're gonna have access to a subway nearby. And personally, it's up to you if you want to use it, but I will definitely say that you can just get an Uber. Okay guys, so whenever you're gonna go to the White House, in order to get a tour inside of the White House, you need to make some reservations prior to your visit. So I would say, like, you're gonna need at least, like, I would say 3 months in advance in order to actually get the access to even go inside of the White House. And sometimes that's not even like a guarantee that you can go in there. So under the description here, under this video, I'm gonna put some links that you can check, because those are gonna be the places that you're gonna find more information. But the first website that you can go is gonna be on the description. Is gonna be the whitehouse.gov, and this one pretty much is gonna tell you about the events, the hours of visit. And as you can see, in order to get inside of the White House, you need to reserve your space by submitting a tour request through one member of the Congress. So, and the hours in order to see this are going to be between Tuesday and Thursday from 7:30 to 1:30 p.m. So you need to take that in consideration in order that you want to visit the White House. And they're going to have some regulations right here. So as you can see, they're going to have some prohibited items. And what I say, like, definitely go over these, because they have a lot of restrictions if you want to go in there. I don't think you're going to be able to record in there. As you can see, prohibited items include but are not limited to the following: video recorders, handbags, book bags, and more. Under the description, you're gonna find a link to the website where you can find your representative. So once you click the link, you're gonna go and just pretty much type the zip code. You're gonna find the rep, so you can submit your request that you want to visit the White House. And as you can see right here, you're gonna type your address. So submit your address. The one who's represented the district is gonna be Nidia Velasquez. So you're gonna click on their website, or you're gonna click on the hyperlink that you saw in there, and then you're gonna go and contact them so you can send a request. so you can have more information about how to submit the letters, where can you call. I just gotta tell you that this is gonna be a process that if you really want to go in the White House, definitely do it. But if for you it's something like it's not that important, I would say like it's just gonna take a long time out of your day, and I don't think it's worth it for you. So those are going to be some tips that I can give you before heading to the White House. And after our destination to the White House, we decided to just head to our last destination, which was the US Capitol. So there's going to be a couple of things that you need to know when you're going to go to the US Capitol, and I'm going to show you in my computer right now. So you got to go to Google, type US Capitol reservation, and then you need to book a tour in advance. So what I realized is that usually they take reservations, and those are going to be available at least 90 days in advance. And anything fewer than 50 people, you can just go to the website and then just click here to basically just reserve the date. You can create an account so you can actually be accepted in there. So this one is a little bit easier than the White House, and definitely I would say recommend it. Personally, we weren't able to actually go inside because we were there a little bit late. If you're gonna come to the US Capitol, make sure you're gonna come here before 4:30. You can come around 3, so you're gonna have at least 1.5 hours to take some pictures, see the history behind the US Capitol, and more. Okay, so now that you know the best things to do in Washington DC, let's talk about how to move around. So personally speaking, we arrived there in a car, and I would say that finding parking around the area is going to be very complicated and hectic. So you're going to find different options in case that you want to find private parking, but in case that you actually find a parking spot that you can just park your car, this is going to be a way that you can take advantage of that. If you want to save some time in parking and you don't want to come back to your car to refill the meter, this is gonna be the best way to do it. So you're gonna go on your phone, you're gonna download this app which is called Parkmobile, and this is gonna save you time because you can pay from your phone from whatever you're gonna be. So that's gonna be a good tip for you. And let's move on, okay? And you can also use trains or Uber, but there's gonna be another option in case that you wanna move inside of the mall. Some of the things that definitely you should try is gonna be this new company which is called Bird. And I'm not getting sponsored by this company, but it's pretty good and it's pretty effective when you're trying to move from one place to another, especially if you're visiting a lot of places. And right now we're just going to the US Capitol and it's pretty fast. Let me show you.
And there he goes.
I gotta say that it was pretty fun riding a scooter. Those are gonna be electric scooters. But now let's move into the food. Although we tried different places when we went to eat, I gotta say that this one really stand out when we actually went to different restaurants. And this one is called La Taqueria del Poblano. This is gonna be Mexican food. I'll definitely encourage you to visit it, try it. The food was pretty good, fresh, and I just gotta say, like, cheap, fresh, and good food. Nothing can beat that. So make sure you try it. Thank you so much for staying till the end. If you like the content that I share with you, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In here, you're gonna be able to find things to do around the world, how to leverage credit cards to travel for free, and more. So one more time, don't forget to subscribe. Without further ado, I'll talk to you later. Peace.